Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Academy of Internal Audit. So as you know, we are preparing a playlist in which we are explaining the various concepts of the Certified Fraud Examiner curriculum, and primarily we are talking about the module 2 law, and we are trying to understand how the law, what are the different points which are normally being tested in the law module of the CFE curriculum. So in our previous video we discussed about the common law system and the civil law system as well. So today we are going to discuss about what is the fact finding process in a court. How the court find the facts, or we can say how the court discover the facts in a case. So we have seen in the normal scenario, we might have seen in the various criminal series also, or we might have in a actual case as well in a live court. What happens? There is a dispute between two parties, and both of those two parties bring their own advocates, attorneys with them, and then these two parties along with their attorneys or through their attorneys present the case to the court. Now the judge is sitting on the chair and just listening to both of these two parties, right? So whatever the evidence, whatever the witness these two parties forward to the court used to listen to them, and court used to take a note of all of those witness or the evidences, right? It rarely happens when the court invite any kind of the evidence on their behalf. It rarely happens, though it is not the case that it is not allowed, but yes, it rarely happens. Normally whatever the things are provided by these two parties through their attorneys are known to the court only, and the court used to refer that piece of information only while declaring the result of that particular case. So as I mentioned, number one, the two parties used to present their case through their attorneys. Number two, whatever the information have been provided by these parties to the court, only that information the court used to refer when they are announcing the result of the case. Number three, court rarely invite anything. Court rarely invite any of the information. Otherwise, whatever the information is provided by the parties, that is being referred. So these are the 2-3 points which we normally used to understand. And what is the role of judge then? Judge is primarily a facilitator. He is actually facilitator who is actually facilitating the production of evidences between the two parties. Now there is a dispute between two parties. Both of them are not talking to each other, though are not agreeing on a point. Hence there is a mediator is required. So that is the role which a judge is playing during the trial. So a party used to forward any evidence, so the judge used to, or the court used to collect it, have a view on it, record it, and also share it with the other party, right? So judge primarily is a facilitator in producing the evidences between the parties, and rarely if the judge feels that he also want to call any of the witness or ask any of the party to bring some evidence, that can also be done. But yes, it rarely happens. So these are the 3-4 things we have understood in the fact finding process. This is what we have seen in past, and also we might have seen in the various criminal series as well, right? Whenever we see in which any of the movie like Jolly LLB or Jolly LLB 2 movies you might have seen, right? In the same situation there, that the judge used to say, he normally used to say, I know everything from the day one, but I cannot consider it until and unless the party present it to the court, right? Until and unless the evidence or witness is presented by the parties to the court, judge cannot consider it, even if it might be in the knowledge of judge itself, right? So this way of finding the fact or discovering the evidence is called adversarial process. Is called as adversarial process. So this is the one process which we have understood, and this is the common also which we have seen, or we might have confronted the same, right? So adversarial process is a process, just to brief, adversarial process is a process in which both of the parties are responsible for providing the evidences to the court, are responsible for calling the witness to the court, and the judge is primarily a facilitator who used to act as a facilitator for producing the evidence between one party to another party, and then the judge rarely or the court rarely invite any of the witness or any of the evidence to the court. Basis the until unless the information is provided by the parties, the judge or the court is unaware of those evidence. They cannot consider these evidences while giving the decision of it, right? So this is what we have understood, and this is called the adversarial process. Now, as if we refer to the previous video, there are two type of the law systems. One is the common law system, second is the civil law system. So is there anything specific that any of the legal system is following this adversarial process? Yeah, so let me just explain and clear this thing as well. Though there is not any such difference, or there is not any foundation that the common law system will follow this system and the civil law system will follow the another system of fact finding. No, it's not the situation. But yes, in most of the situation, or we can say preferably, common law system prefer the adversarial process of obtaining the evidences, right? So it is not mentioned that in the common law system other way of finding the process cannot be used, right? The other way of finding the process is also there. One is what we have understood today, right? So the other, it doesn't mean that in the common law system the other way of finding the evidences cannot be used. It can be used, but in primarily or in most of the situation, or we can say generally, in the common law system, this adversarial process is being used, right? So this is what we have understood about the adversarial process. So in the next video, we will be talking about the other way of finding the fact, which is called inquisitorial process. So in the next video, we'll be talking about this thing. So I hope the concept of adversarial process is clear to all of you, and I believe you have liked this video. If you really like it, so I'll request you to like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to click on the bell button. So in the next video, we'll be talking about the next process. So see you in that video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.